Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're doing something I absolutely love. We're stripping away the illusion of AI and looking right under the hood. We're going to examine the actual mechanical gears that make ChatGPT tick. And spoiler alert, it's math, not magic.
Think about it for a second. You open your browser, type a super complex prompt or just some funny question into that little text box, hit enter, and boom. Within seconds, you get this fully formed, incredibly articulate answer streaming right across your screen. But what is actually happening behind the screen right at that exact moment? We're so used to getting the output that we kind of just ignore the process. Well, let's fix that.
So, the crucial point is, we need to separate the illusion from reality here. The illusion, and I mean, it's a really convincing one, right, is that the AI is sitting there stroking its digital chin, thinking about your prompt exactly like a human would. But the reality? The AI is just predicting using math and patterns. It doesn't have a brain, it has algorithms. It's basically an incredibly fast, highly sophisticated calculating machine. And to understand how those algorithms actually work, we've got to start right at the beginning of the assembly line.
Section 1. Tokenization. Breaking it down.
See, before ChatGPT can even begin to process your message, it has to chop it up. Think of it exactly like prepping for a really complex meal. You wouldn't just throw whole, uncut, raw vegetables into a pan and expect a gourmet dish, right? You have to chop the onions, dice the tomatoes, mince the garlic. Tokenization is the AI doing exactly that. It breaks your text into tiny, manageable pieces called tokens. Now, a token could be a whole word, part of a word, a symbol, or even just a number. And why go through all this effort? Because computers, at their absolute core, cannot read English. They read math. Chopping language into tokens is the absolutely crucial first step to turning our messy human language into numbers.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. Take a super simple sentence like, machine learning is awesome. The second you hit enter, the system slices it up into an array of distinct tokens. Machine learning is awesome. It packs these up into neat little digital boxes that can be seamlessly fed into the core engine. Okay, so our ingredients are prepped and chopped. Now they're ready to be cooked.
Section 2. Enter the transformer, the deep learning engine.
Now we're in the heavy machinery of the operation. ChatGPT is built on a deep learning architecture that's literally called the transformer. So what makes a transformer so incredibly special compared to older AI? Let's use an analogy. Imagine you're trying to appreciate a massive, beautiful painting, like the Mona Lisa. Older AI systems had to look at language as if they were staring through a tiny little peephole. They could only see one brushstroke, or one single word, at a time. It was incredibly clunky and slow. But transformers? They pull back. They take in the entire painting, the whole sentence, the whole paragraph, all at once.
Because the transformer can see the big picture all at the same time. It's significantly faster and, honestly, way smarter. It can process huge amounts of text effortlessly. It can accurately predict what word should come next. But most importantly, it finally understands language context. So, how exactly does it manage that context so perfectly?
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 3. Paying attention to context. The attention mechanism.
This right here is the real secret sauce. To explain the attention mechanism, let's look at a simple sentence. The cat sat on the mat because it was tired. Now, for us humans, reading this is perfectly straightforward, but the AI has to draw these invisible mathematical threads between the words to figure out how they relate. It's kind of like when you get a messy, rambling text from a friend where they just keep saying, he did this or she said that, without using names. You have to mentally track back through the conversation to figure out who he or she actually is, right? Well, the AI has to do the exact same thing, but mathematically. Which brings up a classic problem. When the AI reads the word it in that sentence, does it refer to the cat or does it refer to the mat? Grammar alone doesn't actually make this obvious to a machine. An older, less sophisticated AI might genuinely get confused and calculate that the mat is a thing that's typed. But here is where the attention mechanism absolutely shines. It mathematically weighs the importance of every single word against every other word in that sentence. It essentially pays attention to the context, just like you naturally would when listening to a friend's story. It calculates that tiredness is a trait of living things, not inanimate objects, and correctly maps the word it back to the cat. This one single mechanism is exactly what allows ChatGPT to understand meaning, remember what you said 3 paragraphs ago, and track the ongoing context of your whole conversation perfectly.
Section 4. Response generation, autocomplete on steroids. Once the AI has chopped up your prompt, looked at the big picture, and mapped out all that context, it's finally time to talk back to you. After deeply understanding your input, ChatGPT doesn't just pull a pre-written answer out of some digital filing cabinet. No, it builds the answer completely from scratch. If you ask, "What is AI?" the model starts predicting the most mathematically likely next token. It says, "Okay, based on everything I know, the best next word is artificial." Then it runs the entire calculation again. Now what comes after artificial? Intelligence. Then again, what comes after intelligence? Is.
Now, what is truly mind-blowing here isn't just that it's guessing the next word. It's the sheer speed of it all. It is generating this response token by token, word by word, doing billions of calculations for every single word, and it's doing it in literal milliseconds. It generates text so incredibly fast that, to our human eyes, it just looks like it's effortlessly typing out a continuous flowing thought.
And how does it know which word is the mathematically correct one to guess? Because it definitely isn't guessing blindly. It's relying on patterns learned from massive, almost unimaginable datasets. I mean, it has scanned mountains of books, millions of websites, countless articles, huge repositories of code, endless digital conversations. It has meticulously mapped the statistical relationships of human language based on all of that data, so it knows exactly what should logically come next.
Let's move to and see how this builds a beautiful, simple flow. You start with your user input. The AI immediately jumps into tokenization, chopping your words into data. That data enters the transformer processing engine, taking in the whole picture. Then the attention mechanism kicks in, mapping the context and meaning. That leads directly to next token prediction, firing off word after word in milliseconds until finally you get your final response. It is literally just an incredibly elegant assembly line. Which brings us to the core idea of this entire explainer. ChatGPT does not think like humans do. There's no tiny person inside the machine. There's no soul. There's absolutely no conscious understanding of the world. The reality of AI prediction is grounded purely in math. It uses probability, it identifies learned patterns, it relies on highly complex neural networks. And it uses all of that just to predict the best possible next word based on the context you provided. That is the magic trick revealed. It's literally the world's most sophisticated calculator, calculating language instead of numbers.
So, I want to leave you with this question. Now that you know exactly how the machinery works, now that you know it's just tokenizing your words, mapping attention, and calculating the math of your sentence, how will it change the way you write your next prompt? Will you be clearer? Will you provide better context? Because next time you hit enter, you'll know exactly what's happening behind the screen. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and